pumpkins and everybody's back. I assume you all got the message that this meeting will be recorded, and we'll keep the recording for a couple of weeks after that. But let me tell you a little bit about Jeff for those of you who didn't hear that last week, and you'll hear more about that today also. Jeff is a professional networker, and it's called the LinkedIn Guru. He's a teacher. He's the LinkedIn Guru, and you'll see very quickly why we call him Guru. Jeff has provided nearly 200 free LinkedIn workshops in the last 3 years. He's been on LinkedIn since 2004. He was one of the first early 600,000 members to join back in 2004. Let me emphasize that he does not provide one-on-one training or consulting. His focus is on free seminars. Everything is free. He does not want to charge. He just wants to help, and seminars are free. And he has lots of seminars and webinars and workshops in his profile. He's a former director and account manager with Intellinux and also e-learning venture of Ernst & Young. Many of you have heard of that. He's been deeply involved in community services by volunteering for and helping manage several local nonprofit organizations. Most recently, he's been devoting his time to being a professional networker, teaching networking and LinkedIn, and he's trained thousands of professionals in how to maximize their network skills. Please follow Jeff on LinkedIn to get access to many free LinkedIn tips. With that, please join me to welcome Jeff to today's talk. Jeff, you got the stage. Oh, by the way, Jeff, you're mute, but while you're mute, I can talk also. So
you guys muted me when I came back. Thanks.
Exactly, everybody's muted. Just in case, do you want this to be interactive? Do you want people to ask questions? Do you want them to wait?
Definitely. The more interactive, the better. Okay. So again, I'll say namaste and thank you, okay, to both Hamid and Joanna for inviting me back. Okay. I don't know whether you guys have ever had somebody come back 2 weeks in a row and present 2 weeks in a row or not. Probably you have if they were good enough. In my case, it's probably you brought me back until I get, keep me doing it until I get it right. So from that perspective, I want to say hello to everybody and welcome. Thank you for coming. I am, as he said, I am Jeff Young, the LinkedIn Guru. Okay. If you look guru up in the dictionary, you see that word guru means teacher, which is, by the way, why I've got the boy in blue behind me. Okay, you might notice my background. I also sometimes introduce myself by saying, hi, I'm Jeff Young, I'm a teacher. What's your superpower? Okay, because I believe teachers all have superpowers, and well, I believe everybody has a superpower. They just have to spend enough time to discover what it is. Okay. So my superpower ended up being a teacher, and this rendition of teaching for me ends up being not teaching people project management like I used to in the old days, but teaching people LinkedIn. So that's what I'm here to do today. Okay, we've got an hour or so to go through as much as you want, as much as you need, and as Hamid said, I want you guys to ask questions. So I give you permission to put it in the chat. Joanna and Hamid will hopefully monitor the chat and be able to give me those questions, because I won't be able to see the chat and do a presentation at the same time. But I also, by the way, I'm not doing a presentation as such today. If you're expecting a PowerPoint slide, you came to the wrong place. I do not believe in death by PowerPoint. Okay, it's not my style. It's all real-time, interactive. I'm going to show you what you want to see on LinkedIn, or I'll show you what I think you should see on LinkedIn for the next hour. And literally, when I used to do these seminars up in front of people, I would come up and I would introduce myself like I'm doing now. And I would say, okay, folks, now for the next 8 hours, and hopefully that would wake a few people up by going, huh, what, 8 hours? Oh, no, don't go there, right? So I could literally talk for 8 hours about LinkedIn and still not get it all done. But I want to talk about what you want to talk about. So that's why I want you to ask questions. And more than anything else, I think one of the things I want to make sure that you understand is that because I've been on LinkedIn for as long as I have, I'm kind of like farmer's insurance as far as LinkedIn is concerned. Okay, I know a thing or two about LinkedIn because I've seen a thing or two about LinkedIn. Okay, so we do a farmer's insurance commercial there. As a matter of fact, I actually used to work for farmers, by the way, out in California. Yeah, I not for farmers, but as a consultant, farmers was actually one of my clients from Ernst & Young. So again, one of the things that I've learned about LinkedIn by being on LinkedIn for such a long period of time, or two things really, okay? First of all, is that LinkedIn loves to hide stuff. So don't be discouraged if you don't find what you're after on LinkedIn immediately, because I can almost guarantee you, if you go to the trouble of thinking about how you want to use LinkedIn and have a goal about how to use LinkedIn, the answer is probably yes, you can do that. But the key is to knowing how and where to go to find it and digging down beneath the covers and getting there, okay? And then LinkedIn compounds this a little bit because they also love to change stuff. If you haven't been on LinkedIn for a month and you come back and look at LinkedIn in a month's worth of time, it's going to look different and it's going to have different capabilities. Some of those will be more in your face than others, but others will be, again, hidden capabilities. And so it's just one of those things where I think more than anything else, my advice for getting to know LinkedIn is to actually go out there and be on LinkedIn every single day and beat the bejesus out of it. I'm sorry, that was not a swear word. Okay, that was basically, go out there and pound on it enough so that you actually understand what it does. Okay, and hopefully I can answer some of those questions by showing you where to look. And this is my final point as far as being a teacher. My goal today is, as a teacher, I do not want to necessarily give you a fish so that I feed you for just a day. I want to teach you to fish so that I can feed you for the rest of your life as far as LinkedIn is concerned, okay? So I'll open up to questions here in just a minute, but one thing I want to show you before we go anywhere else, or actually I have a question for you, okay? And I know at least one of you probably can answer this because I think at least Ian has been through one. I don't know, how many seminars have you been through of mine, Ian? It's been a few now. Okay, is it only 2? Plus today's 3, okay? But you've seen some other things and you've seen some of the stuff that I've done. I'll ask this question of the entire group, and this will start the interaction, okay? Because I'm actually expecting someone to answer this question. Can you tell me where the help button is on LinkedIn if you need help? Somebody tell me that.
Without checking, I feel like it's at the very bottom, but I could be wrong.
It might be, but there are some screens, Stephanie, that you can scroll on and on and on and on, and you never get to the bottom, like your homepage.
Right.
Caroline raise hand, and I saw Jim raise hand, and I think Alan raise hand also. Some people raise hand.
Yeah, I'm thinking upper right, but it changes with different screens, so you have to hunt.
Actually, there is one place that it is always at on every single screen, and that's the place that I want to show you. Okay, when you are thinking about asking LinkedIn to help, okay, for help, think about the fact that you are asking LinkedIn to help me, help me, help me. Watch, okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and here we go. I'm going to go to my screen and share my screen. And on this screen, any screen, whether you're on your profile, here's my profile, whether you're on the home page, whether you're on my network page, any other page, right? The me is always there. So if you click on me and then click on help, lo and behold, it's always there.
And well, it is upper right, but it's in me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you were on the right track. It is in the upper right. Okay. And there are some, I think on the homepage, it might actually be in the upper right sometimes and sometimes not. And sometimes I think Stephanie was right. It actually is on the bottom occasionally as well. But the point is that you can find it here every single time. Now, once you've gone to this process, click me, click help. What I would highly recommend is that instead of using this little window that you see now, you see this little window that has the help in a search bar here. Instead of doing it that way, what I recommend is that you go to the bottom and you click open help in a new tab, because what that does is give you a lot more real estate to look at help. And here is where I want you to type in something interesting, okay? Something you're interested in. So here's another question for you folks. If I wanted to know what the difference between endorsements and recommendations on LinkedIn was, could I do that in help? again, I told you folks earlier, if you think you can do something on LinkedIn, you probably can. You just need to know how. Okay. So if you go here into help and then you type endorsement versus recommendation, hit enter. Look at the very top thing that it gives me. Skills, endorsements, and recommendations. And when I click that, and by the way, look at the rest of this stuff. There's all kinds of stuff out here. How you do skill endorsements overview, recommendations overview, job recommendations overview, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but I said, I want to know the difference between endorsements and recommendations. Okay, so I click on this link and it says, oh, this is the definition of a skill endorsement. It's a one-click way for your connections to endorse the skills listed on your profile. There isn't an automatic way to request an endorsement, and only skills already listed can be endorsed. So you got to put skills out there so that people can endorse you for it. Okay. A written recommendation is not included with this feature. So there's nothing else other than the click, other than the fact that they're verifying, they're validating the fact that you do have the project management skill by saying, yes, click, you do. Okay. And as a matter of fact, when you look at it and you do it, it actually gives them a gradient, says high, medium, low, skilled at this. And oh, by the way, how do you know this person that you are endorsing? Right? Did you work together with this person? Did you hear about their skills, et cetera? Okay. And then a recommendation is an actual written statement. This is unfortunate. LinkedIn uses a word that could be a little confusing. Yeah, thank you. Caroline's shaking her head. Why would they use the word endorsement when they're defining recommendation? Why don't you use the word, it's a written statement of testimonial, okay, received from a connection. You can request recommendations from your connections as well as proactively recommend your connections. Learn more about recommendations at that level. Does that make sense, folks? There's how you find all kinds of help under the Help Me, and that's just one of the very
Jeff, you're muted again.
Hey, can I jump in here real quick? I had my hand up. Real, Jeff, when you're looking at or when you're in the help screen, do you have to try to figure out LinkedIn speak when you type in?
good point. That's a really good question. Yes, it makes a huge difference as to what you are calling something. Okay. So for example, if I was going to go looking for help about, everybody at the top of their page can have a background banner. Okay. Well, I don't think really, honestly, LinkedIn calls that a background banner. They call that a background photo. So searching for it would probably be better to search for at least the word background, maybe banner, but probably photo. So yes, it does. This is the same with all help. Okay. This is a stupid machine. So you have to actually ask for the right word in order to find the right thing. So that's a very good question. Thank you for adding that to the process. And let me add one more thing to this help process as well. I got to tell you though that, I used to be an IT geek before I became a retired IT geek, okay, and a recovering project manager. And when I did IT, I built systems. And when I built systems, a lot of times we would build the help systems that went along with those systems as well. You put them together, you do them at the same time, right? That's actually a good way to do it. But the point being is, and I was really proud of the help systems that I used to build for the systems that I was building at the same time. But I got to tell you that LinkedIn's help system is one of the best I have ever seen in my 35 years worth of project management experience. Well, or at least it would be one of the best that I've ever seen if you could just find it. Okay, now you know how to find it. Okay, so now that you know how to find it, now you know the secret of going after something out here, and having the right name for what it is that you're talking about. Yeah, it does make a difference. Jeff, I will tell you one thing. If you want to do some really interesting searching on help with LinkedIn, just type in the word best practice, because I've done this before and this really comes up with some interesting stuff. Creating a LinkedIn page, best practice. Newsletters, best practice. Pipeline builder, best practice. LinkedIn groups, best practices. You see what I'm talking about here? Okay, they will give you feedback about what the best practices, finding jobs on LinkedIn, best practices. You think that might be important for you folks? I do. Okay.
Jeff, I think Jim has raised his hand, right? Jim, do you have a question or?
Go for it.
Yeah, a couple things. Unfortunately, my experience with LinkedIn Help hasn't been as positive as yours as far as finding good content for something specific I was looking for. You want an example of that, just look for how to report a bug. It's pretty difficult. Bug, defect, issue, whatever you want. You can find some stuff eventually, but it's a lot harder than you would expect to find.
Don't say the word bug, say the word customer service.
Yeah.
And what you'll find is well, what you'll find is a lot of that, or customer support.
Yep.
Okay, would be a good one.
But I mean, if you have an out and out defect that's obvious and repeatable and everything like that, it's really difficult to actually feed that back to them.
Yep.
I've found.
Well, and you can use the word feedback. Okay. And if you actually, LinkedIn feedback is one that it doesn't hide. That I've actually seen a lot of times on the pages as well. But you're right, it does depend on what you've got out here. And I'll tell you what you need to do is that, honestly, ask an expert. And that's what this one was called today. And by the way, since I just brought that word up, that's the first time I've mentioned the word expert today. I got to tell you folks, I'm the LinkedIn guru. I am not the LinkedIn expert. Okay. If you can find a LinkedIn expert, give them $1. Okay, because I'm afraid there is no such thing. Nobody can know everything there is to know about all of LinkedIn, but I teach LinkedIn, so I got to know a lot more than a lot of other folks. So from that standpoint, you just nothing more than looking up something that says contact us might actually get you what you want. Okay, so again, but unfortunately, the first word on that is contact. So it's talking about contacts manager, definition of a contact, et cetera. But look for the contact us. And oh, by the way, if you're inside of help, okay, if you're sitting at the homepage for help, then there is going to be a contact us button at the bottom of that. So now that you know how to go to help, you can also find the contact us button if you go to help and scroll all the way down to the bottom. That'll be 2 bars of chocolate, please. I get paid in chocolate. That's one of the.
Let's just say it's not the easiest and most obvious path one would take.
No,
but
it's not. But once you know how.
And we shouldn't have to guess synonyms forever. But anyway, the other quick question: I've never found a way to access help on mobile LinkedIn. I don't think they have an offering there, but if you know of one, that'd be great if you'd share that.
I don't remember. I never use, first of all, Jim, I never use mobile because of what you just described there. It is a crippled version of LinkedIn as far as I'm concerned, because it's on a much smaller platform, has a lot less capability, et cetera. I will tell you that you might want to search under settings or something along those lines. I'm not going to go there necessarily to try to show it to you. But when I want help, I come to the desktop.
Yeah, there is no search function either. So yes, it is crippled, but LinkedIn about 4 or 5 years ago is when they said that the traffic on the mobile had exceeded the traffic on the desktop version.
Oh, no,
so,
yeah, no,
yeah.
You're absolutely right. I mean, that's not the, that's the convenience part. That's the mobile society part. I think the statistic now, actually, Jim, is that 60% of people who are accessing LinkedIn are accessing it from a mobile device.
I'd be surprised if it weren't higher.
Well, I'm glad it's not, okay, to tell you the truth, because if it was only mobile, LinkedIn would focus so much on the mobile that they'd leave me in the dust being over here on the desktop. And that's not a good thing. I keep yelling at them to go, hey, excuse me, 4 out of every 10 people are still on the desktop. You need to support the desktop as well, please. Okay. But so the point being is, again, I think it's a matter of what you use LinkedIn for. I would go to the mobile if I'm out and about to look up somebody's picture, to look up somebody's profile. Okay. But to do any kind of typing, to do any kind of actual updating and do any content creation, I'm not doing that on the mobile, because I'm sorry, folks. Yeah, I may be old and I may be old school, and I never learned how to do this. See what this is? This is thumb typing. Okay, I never learned how to do that, except of course to illustrate that I don't know how. so that's just one of those things.
Sorry to interrupt. One more question that keeps coming almost every single time that we have a LinkedIn presentation, no matter who the presenter is. And this is the issue of premium versus free.
Yep.
And that question just came up. Do you mind? I mean, does it work to have premium or not? I mean, I have premium. I have had it for many years. I forget to undo it, but I've heard both versions. I don't know what I would not have if I didn't have. Could you elaborate on that? Do you have any opinion on that?
I'm gonna show you that there's a help file for that as well. Okay.
Oh, okay, great. So let's go to the help file.
There's the help link. I keep this on speed dial. Okay, there's the help link. I will drop that help link in the chat. Okay, so that you can actually go look at this afterwards. But I am going to give you a few minutes about this because I agree with you, Hamid. This is an important one. Okay, so there it is in the chat room.
All right.
And I'm not going to go through all of what it says here, but I just wanted to illustrate that it was there for you if you want it. Okay. And I will tell you that here's some more statistics for you. Okay. You may have had LinkedIn Premium for quite a while. I don't use LinkedIn Premium, and I've been on LinkedIn since May of 2004, and I probably never will, but that's because I know how to get around what it is that they're asking me to pay for. Okay. Here's another statistic. Only 4 out of every 10 people on LinkedIn, this is the opposite of the mobile bit, okay? Only 4 out of every 10 people actually pay for LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, by the way, is a business. And so therefore, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. So LinkedIn needs to sell stuff. LinkedIn needs to sell this product. So they're always going to be asking you if you'd like to buy LinkedIn, okay? Now, there are reasons. Okay, I'll say one more thing before you think about paying for LinkedIn. Okay, think about what you want to do on LinkedIn and think about trying to figure out how to do that without paying for it, because it is possible, because I've done it. Okay, and I got to tell you that when people ask me this question, I don't mean to be nasty, but I gotta say to folks that 95% of the people that I encounter out here on LinkedIn haven't even scratched the surface of what you can do on LinkedIn for free. So I gotta ask, how do you think buying it and paying for money for it would make you any better at it? Okay, I don't mean to be nasty, but just don't go there, okay, until you believe you need to. Now, if you look at that help, you might figure out a reason why you need to pay for LinkedIn. I will tell you that there are reasons for paying for LinkedIn, okay? First of all, if you are a salesperson, there's a special package called Sales Navigator, okay? And that will help you with CRM and those kinds of capabilities. That it's extra capabilities. You do get more capabilities, okay, than others if you pay for LinkedIn Sales Navigator. But LinkedIn Sales Navigator is $200 a month. Have you got $200 a month to spend on LinkedIn? I don't, not hardly. There ain't no way. Okay. Second, if you're a business owner, if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur and your customers are on LinkedIn and you want to use LinkedIn from a business perspective, there's a business package as well. That one's actually not too bad. That was about 60, 65 bucks a month. So as a business owner, $65 a month cost of goods sold is not that big of a deal. So it might be worthwhile to buy it if you were a business owner as well, the business package. Thirdly, the way LinkedIn got its start, and 60% of its income comes from recruiting services. So there's a recruiter package, and that is one that people are going to buy if you're a recruiter, internal or external, et cetera. Okay, companies buy it all the time because they want their recruiters to have extra capability. Okay, so again, that's one reason to buy it. Now, and by the way, recruiter package is about $100 a month, if I'm not mistaken.
Jeff, I believe that, I mean, I had Sales Navigator for years, but it was company paid, and it was always $79.99 a month if paid by the month, and it was somewhat less per month if you paid annual. So
Well,
I'm not
and
sure
it's
where the
gone up.
200 a month came from.
I can guarantee you, Caroline, it's going up because it's one of the most, again, it's one of the most sought after packages because it's one of the most capable packages.
Okay, then that's fairly recently then.
If you go out and you look for the little link on your LinkedIn page that says try LinkedIn Premium for free, and then go look at the different packages, it will tell you how much it costs. And by the way, it costs different things here in the US than it does in the UK, than it does in the, okay? So it's priced by market as well. So now those 3 packages are reasons to pay for LinkedIn, okay? One of the reasons that one of the other packages, the cheapest package that you can find, is probably around $30 or $40 a month, and that is the career package, the package that is aimed at job seekers, okay? But again, that's only up to you. It's if you believe you can determine that you need it, that you should pay that amount of money for it. But since I mentioned it, I'll go back to the point of try LinkedIn Premium for free for a month. There's going to be a link like that on every single page you probably look at, okay? If you find that link and go try LinkedIn Premium free for a month, I think that's a good thing to do, okay? But then I got to ask you for two favors. If you're going to try LinkedIn Premium for a month, here's the first favor. I already mentioned it. Beat the crap out of it, okay? Go out there and beat on it and figure out what it can actually do for you for the money that you're about to spend, the $30 to $40 a month that you're about to spend per month, okay? Secondly, if you do that and get to the point that is 25 days into the month or 5 days before they're actually supposed to charge your credit card and you do not want it, do me this extra favor. Do whatever it takes. Put Post-it notes on your refrigerator, put neon signs on your garage. I don't care what it takes, but do something that says, cancel this sucker before they charge your credit card. Okay? Because once LinkedIn has your money, you're not going to get it back. I can almost guarantee you that, because again, in my travels on LinkedIn and all the years that I've ever been on LinkedIn, all I've ever heard is there are two words that LinkedIn cannot define: refund and prorate. Okay, so don't go there unless you absolutely have to. And so if you like it, keep it. So it's obviously a personal choice. My personal choice has never been to get LinkedIn Premium. So that's a long-winded answer, but I think it's important for you to understand what it means to have LinkedIn Premium. You get more of what you already get for free. How's that? Great question. Always a great question. I'm surprised we didn't actually answer that one last week, because
That was a very actually good answer. Very consistent with everybody else who has said the same thing. You can find whatever you need through basic, just going to help us, stuff like that. There are some nice features, but do you really need to go there and pay that? And once you start paying, then you'll forget about it. But anyhow, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yep, no problem. I'm ready for the next question, or I'm ready to show you the next thing. So anybody got a question? I can't see any hands because I don't see that many people in the list of.
Please raise your hand if you have any
chat
question.
there, yeah.
Well, can you raise your hand, because I wasn't monitoring the chat. Okay, Becky.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Jeff. You're doing a great job. I have two related questions. One is, you mentioned that you figured out how to get around things. So I'd like to know, what are the things that you figured out how to get around, and how do you get around them? And then my second question, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I have found that not having a paid subscription, I'm quite limited in who I can contact and how many people I can contact if I don't have a paid subscription. And so in particular, I'd like to know how you get around that, please.
Okay. All right. So one particular thing, I'll answer the first one with one of the things that I got around. One of the things that is there, and one of the features that you should use a great deal on LinkedIn is the search capability. Going up here in the search box and searching for whatever it is that you're looking for, as far as an industry or a company or a job title, or et cetera. Okay. One of the things that for the basic account instead of the premium account, and by the way, even if you pay for the career premium account, it doesn't remove this limit. There's something that LinkedIn calls the commercial search limit. It's a limit to the number of searches that you can actually do in a month's worth of time. Okay. So first of all, you only get a certain number of searches. I don't know what that number is. LinkedIn will never tell you what that number is, because they want you to buy LinkedIn, so they don't want you to bump up against the limit. Okay. But I've gotten around the limit, okay, by doing something that I call Boolean searching. Everybody know what Boolean searching is? Okay. Most people should. But I'll have an idea. This is a good time to go start telling you and showing you stuff that is on my profile that can answer your questions. Okay, so I'm going to point you at one particular thing about Boolean searching. Now, bear with me here and watch what I'm doing, and copy down what I'm doing here. Of course, you can watch the recording later on, but I'm going to start, and I'm going to show you a path that will allow you to get back to this every single time you want. Okay. First of all, I want you to look me up. I want you to go to my profile. While you're there, and while you happen to be doing that, you can pay me today with another C. You might notice that I get paid in C's: coffee, conversation, and occasionally chocolate. By the way, did anybody else know that today is National Chocolate Day? I'm in heaven today. So today's National Chocolate Day. So yeah, you know, I'm in good shape. But you can pay me in another seat. You can pay me in a click, because I want you to go click the follow button when you get here, because following me will actually get you a chance of actually seeing my stuff. But I'm showing you a way right now where you can see my stuff anytime you have the need to go to it and find it, as opposed to just going to your homepage and hoping it shows up. Okay, go to my profile, scroll down to where it says see all activity. Okay, then click on posts. Now what this will do is show you my most recent post that was 7 hours ago. Then the next one it will show you is my second post that was three days ago about being effective on LinkedIn by being active. The next one was a week ago. The next one after that was a week, same a week ago. Okay, as you can see, you go down through here. But if you scroll far enough, and I'll show you how to get to this a little bit quicker as well. But if you scroll far enough, you're going to see one that I did 3 weeks ago. That is the LinkedIn Gazette, my newsletter, by the way. And by the way, you can subscribe to that too, which will give you a month's worth. It'll give you a monthly update. You'll get something every single month from me that will notify you that I've done a new newsletter, because I do a newsletter once a month. But this one was, okay, be effective on LinkedIn by using Boolean search logic. So that gets me around, and I'm not going to go into the details of this, but what it basically does is allow you to use ands and ors and multiple operators that will get you your search in one search instead of 3 searches or 4 searches. So that way it's losing less of the limited resource, the commercial search limit. So Boolean is a way of getting around. So go there. Now I'll show you how to get to this and many other articles as well, okay, in just a second. All right, so let me say one more thing about that, which is in terms of the commercial search limit. Many people have a misconception about, oh, LinkedIn told me I reached the commercial search limit, I can't do any more searches. Well, that's not true, folks. They won't stop you from searching, but what they will do is give you only 3 results on your results page, and the rest of your search results are grayed out. So another way that I've gotten around the search limit, okay, is to be as definitive as possible with all the filters, so that I'm filtering it down to be maybe only a result of maybe 4 to 10 results. And that way, at least, even if I've reached the commercial search limit, I'm still going to see the first 3. So I've got something. You'll get something every single time. Now, one more thing that I got to tell you about the commercial search limit, and another reason why I don't worry about it and have never actually seen it be useful to pay for to get around it, is that at the end of the calendar month, they give you all your searches back. So as you begin every single month, you've got a certain number of searches again. So if you are done for the month and it's the 25th, wait 5 days and you get all your searches back, and you're back in business the way you were before. So I'd rather wait 5 days than pay $30 a month. Just me. I'm a cheap son of a gun. So there you go.
How do you find how many searches they actually allow you now?
They
don't
don't
ever tell you.
No, Caroline, it's just like some other things. LinkedIn's never going to tell you a lot of these details, because if they told you all these details, it would be easier for you to get around it.
Of course.
Right? Exactly. And their objective is to get you to pay for it. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
What about premium messaging? You're limited in sending messages to people that you're not connected with.
That's somewhat true. That is true. Okay, to some extent. Okay, I've gotten around that one. Becky, what's your full name? Can I bring up your profile?
Yeah.
Becky, what?
Bender. B-E-N-D-E-R.
E-N-D-R. Is that you at the top?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So let me go to your profile and I'll show you what I can do. Obviously, if I wanted to try clicking the message here, I'm not connected to you, so I might not be able to, right? Okay, there are several ways around this as well. First of all, if you are creating content on LinkedIn and I go see your activity, okay, down here, okay, if you're actually if I say see all activity and go to your posts, I can communicate with you by commenting on your posts.
Oh,
Which, by the way, is one of the really great ways to start a conversation out here. Add a comment to somebody's post. Okay, so a month ago you did something that was, you posted something. What a terrific idea, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it might be a month old, but still I could comment on it. All right. So that's one way. That's one way. Okay, from your in here, okay, as well. Okay, there is a way of obviously communicating with you as well. If I would actually go try to connect with you and send you a message that that would be there as well. Now you may not answer it, but I get the opportunity when I click the connect button to add a note.
but a lot of people have that disabled and I can't just
Okay.
send them a note.
Oops, I just sent you a connection. I didn't mean to.
Well, I'm going to accept it whether you like it or not. Thank you.
Yeah.
They have the note disabled? I've never run into that.
No, it's not that. I'm gonna withdraw that. Sorry. I beg your
Oh.
pardon. Well, no, that was against my rules. I would never send a connection request without actually sending a note anyway. Okay, so
There's a way to,
you're not wrong. Becky.
Wait, I missed how you withdrew it. I'm sorry.
yeah, how do you withdraw? I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh, gee, see, some people don't know that you didn't do that. All right. What I did was I went to my network. Okay.
Yeah.
That will show you all your pending invitations that are incoming.
Okay.
Okay, if you click the manage button, you can check on sent, and that's where hers was, and I had a withdrawal button when you sent.
Oh, thank you. That's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay,
Cool. Okay.
well,
But
again,
you
there
can't
go.
withdraw an in-mail, or can you do that?
No, that's a message. That's a DM.
Okay.
If I sent a DM though, if I sent a DM and I can go look at my messages to see that DM has been sent, there is a way of deleting that. Okay. So yes, I could delete a DM, but I think once it's sent, it's like text. It's actually gone.
It's gone.
So I could delete it on my end, but that wouldn't keep it from going.
Yeah, interesting.
Now let me make sure that I give you all of this, because all of this is important. Okay, Becky, you said many people have this disabled. Do you mean many people have the follow button on, or many people you will not see a connect button?
Yes.
Is that part of what you meant? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you go to more. Go to more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No,
Good
but
one.
there's
Exactly.
nothing in more. There's nothing
Okay,
in more.
Caroline, do you have follow on? I don't know.
No, I
No, you have connect on.
don't.
All right, never mind. It doesn't matter. If you see somebody that's got
but
follow
I
on.
but I have a new feature section since last week.
Thank you. Glad to hear that.
Wait, Caroline, can you wait until he finishes the
Of course.
questions? Please.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go to somebody. Let me go to my network here. Okay, and somebody just looks like somebody just sent me an invitation that was.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that did not have, that only has a CSIX meeting in it. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one there for right now, because what I need to do is I need to go to somebody else here that I can find fairly quickly. Bear with me.
Try Liz Ryan, Lizryan. I believe she has follow on.
Say it again.
Liz, first name, last name Ryan.
Yeah, good call there. That'll definitely be a follow only.
Okay, there it is. It's a follow button. Okay, this is a follow button. All that really means is this person has turned creator mode on and they want people to follow them. She has 3.1 million followers already. She doesn't need another connection. Okay, but if you want to connect with her, you still can. Remember the magic more button, because under the more button, there is always, if they have allowed it to happen, a connect. And when I click connect, that would go exactly to the same place. See, now again, this member, verify this member knows you. They want their email, which some people will actually ask for as well. Okay, but at this point in time, again, you could actually you actually have to know this person's email to connect with them. But the connect
And
button there.
the orange square in the upper right-hand side that has IN in the orange square, I thought that meant that that you have to have premium in order to connect with
No.
them. What does
No.
that really?
What that means, Becky, is they are paying for LinkedIn, not that you
They
have
are
to have
paying.
LinkedIn. They
They
are
are
paying for LinkedIn, which is, by the way, another reason why I don't mind about going to somebody else's profile that I'm not connected to and trying to send them a message. Okay, so let me illustrate by going here as an example. Okay, it depends on okay. Sending somebody a message might be possible. Don't think that you can't do it until you actually click on it and it tells you you can't. Because when some people pay for LinkedIn, okay, they might have said, I'm paying for LinkedIn and I'm paying for the fact that I want anyone to be able to send me a message on LinkedIn, whether they're connected with me or not.
But I thought I saw that orange square on your profile and you told us that you're not paying for LinkedIn. How is that?
Okay, I told you I was not paying for LinkedIn. I do have a premium account, but that is because LinkedIn gave me a premium account. I have never paid 1 penny for LinkedIn. So for
Okay,
a certain,
share
and
your
there's
secret.
a long story behind that, and I will not bore you with it. And eventually I will not have a premium account, but LinkedIn gave me a free premium account as a.
Because you're basically, you're promoting the platform because you're a guru on it, even though you're not associated with them at all.
Let's leave it at that, okay? I mean,
So-
they think
so
I'm
are
doing a
there-
good job. They think I'm doing a
are
good
there-
job, so they gave me free access.
Are there features of it that you really like, that you use because it's a premium account?
There are a couple of things. Can I finish this other one first? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Because
Sorry.
we're not. Did you everybody get the point that if somebody is actually paying for LinkedIn, or even if they have turned it on, if they provide services and have turned it on, you might want to try the message button because of the fact that they actually will be able to receive a message from you because they've said to LinkedIn they want to allow it. Okay, so keep trying it, and if it says no, then that's fine, but keep trying it because they may have actually turned on the fact that they can receive a message from anybody on LinkedIn. Okay, I wanted to make sure you understand that. Now, there's one more thing too that I want you to see as well. When we talked about connect button, and I'm going to have to try to find one here kind of fairly quickly if I can. Here we go. Let's just try this person. Let's see how far away they are. Perfect. See this one? Here's another one that it's a message button and you think there's no connect button. It's the same as the other one, but this person doesn't want to be followed. This person just doesn't, this person is 3 degrees away from me. Okay, you know what I'm talking about by degrees of separation? Someone who knows someone, who knows someone, who knows this person. That's 3 degrees of separation, okay? Well, it looks like on LinkedIn that you can't see and you cannot connect with this person. But here it is again. I can follow or I can connect this person because there it is under the magic more button. Okay,
Could I add a comment to that?
please.
Oh, so I use this a lot. When you send them a message by Connect, you have 300 characters. And
correct.
it is possible to get a lot of info in 300 characters, but you do have to work at it sometimes.
No, but I agree. I think you should put a message in there every time, first of all. And I don't mean that you need to max out the message. I mean, here's the thing that you really should think about when you're clicking the connect button and you're actually sending this person, a message. Okay, I'm going to say I want to connect with this person. Add a note. Here's my 300 characters. Okay, tell this person why. I mean, give them a reason to connect with you. It's not like you don't have to go with hat in hand. You don't have to apologize. You just have to explain what it was you want to talk to them about. Okay, and then if they'll say yes, they say yes, and if they won't say yes, they'll say no, and you go on to the next person. It's not like, I mean, look, there's lots of opportunities out there. Go for it. There are 776 million of your closest friends out here. Okay, I love to use that number because everybody closest friends. Yeah, right. Okay. So anyway, all right.
Can I make a real quick comment on the notice, because I've actually used that. And they did not have a contact or a notice. So I clicked on this, I clicked on the icon and it brought up a screen that looked like what looked like an email format.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I, write in the, the kind of a brief message, and then my lengthy message. And a lot of times what I'll do is just make a comment on hi, how are you? And make a comment on, a post that they had, because I couldn't find an email for them. So I've seen that it's different than the usual note.
Yep. And again, here's what happens when I click message on this one. Okay. So by the way, that might be one of the.
But this is an in-mail message, is it not? So you only get a few of those.
That's correct.
How many?
You get credits for in-mail messages. Okay. But again, as I said, you won't have to use in-mail messages. You won't have to pay for LinkedIn if the other person has paid for it. okay, and they allow messages. That's what I was doing with John here. This is the kind of thing that he saw, okay, where you can actually put a subject and then write them a message. And that's what they've allowed people to do. So it's the same thing, okay? In my case, what it's doing it's because of the fact that I have LinkedIn Premium, but other people will allow that to be sent to them when you click the message button as well.
So
You don't have to pay for it.
So Jeff, how do you know whether this is an in-mail that they're accepting? So it's not count as one of your in-mails, or whether it's counting one of yours. How do you know which it is?
Because of what it said there, it's saying down here at the bottom, it says use one of your 43 email credits.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so that's
So-
where it
I
is.
know that there. Again,
If you
reading
don't-
the screen. But it will be
use-
somebody, and by the way, when they have opened themselves up to be messaged by anybody else, okay, that doesn't go against their in-mail credits. So that's a good thing for them to do, okay, which is why they allow that to happen, especially if you're actually selling services. You want people to be able to actually
contact
contact
you.
you.
And you set that in settings somewhere? That's where you
Yeah.
put that out
It's
on your
called-
profile?
Yeah, it's called an open profile. Okay,
Okay.
so you want me to show you?
Yes, please.
All right, I think I can find it. So under settings and privacy.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's under account preferences. Oh boy, I hope. I may have to do the help on this because there are so many,
Communications
maybe.
category.
Who can reach you? Okay.
That's it.
Where is the who can reach? Here it is. Who can reach you? Invitations to connect, email. Okay, that's two.
Messages.
And
Allow
messages.
Who can connect.
under messages.
It's probably here. Allow. Yep. Okay. Enable message request notifications. Allow others to send you in-mail
Oh,
where they
cool.
would have set that. Okay. And oh, by the way, this might be another way that you can do the same thing. You'll have to just see because it depends on what you have paid for or not paid for. Here's another one that is now called open profile, which is what I've searched for as far as the help is concerned. Open profile messages is the one I talked about before. Even though I'm paying for LinkedIn, okay, and I allow other people to send me in-mail, I can change my profile to be an open profile, which would allow any LinkedIn member to send a message to me, whether they're connected to me or not. So open profile would be the one.
And why would you want to have that on or off? I'm
I
not
would want to
sure.
have that on because if I'm providing services and I want to do another one of these to some other organization, I want that organization to go to my profile and have the ability to actually send me a message and say, Jeff, would you like to speak at Hooterville to the Hooterville Chamber of Commerce? Okay. Anybody get that reference? Probably not.
Right, but you have it off, so you didn't.
I do because again, I'm not. It's not that I'm closed up. It's just that I don't want to have to deal with that many of those kind of messages because I have so many people following me and
Following you. Got it.
Exactly. So I'm just keeping it down to a dull roar.
What happens when you've used up your allotment of in-mail? How can we get around that?
If someone, okay, here's another thing about in-mails, okay? If someone actually responds to your in-mail, you get it back,
Oh,
okay?
oh,
So the only way, and oh, by the way, each month you're going to get another allotment of them as well. So month by month, you get a certain amount. And I believe the cheapest and lowest number is 5 for the career. So that's 5 a month, okay? If you do something with that, you get it back. Are you trying to make a comment, Jim? I see your hands up.
Yeah, we'll get to it in a sec. Finish out your thought there.
Okay. So if someone actually responds to your email and sends you a message back, you get that email back. So again, it's 5 open in-mails at any given point in time, 5 outbound that have not been answered at any given point in time is really with the cheapest version. My version happened to be, they gave me a business account. And since they gave me a business account, I get 15 of them. They're all different as far as capabilities.
There is an upper limit though. It'll max out at 45, I believe, and sit there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sitting close to that limit, but I haven't reached it yet. Okay, so, all right, so they'll give you 3 months worth, whatever.
but we get 5 a month. Is there any way around that if
Yeah,
we
you don't get that if
want
you've got a
to do
basic
6 or
account.
7 or 8?
You get 5 if you pay for it. So that might be one of the reasons that you think it's a good idea to pay for it. But remember, I've used LinkedIn for free for years and years and years and years and didn't have in-mails. So I didn't have to deal with it. I didn't need it. Okay. If you think you need it and you think it's worth $30 a month to have 5 emails that you could send 5 messages to 5 people you don't know, then go for it. But I would rather go to their profile and try to do something with them there by connecting with them, or I would rather go to their content, you know, because if you're trying to contact somebody who doesn't even do anything on LinkedIn anyway, kind of what's the point? They're never going to be on LinkedIn anyway. So why would you expect to want to try to network with them? They're not going to be there. You see what I'm getting at there? Does that make sense? Again, it's a matter of what your goal is out here and how you can accomplish that goal. You asked me a question that I still haven't answered, and that is, you know, what's one of my favorite things that I get for with premium that I didn't get with the other one? Okay, InMail's not it. I tell you what it is. Okay, it's going to who's viewed my profile and seeing 90 days worth of people instead of 5.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons I have the Job Seeker Premium, because I need to know who's been looking at my profile.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a need of yours, you know, here again, though, Caroline, I used to ask this of my people who were going through the process. If it's still for free, I would ask them, okay, how many hits do you get a week? And I'm not going to ask you to put you on the spot or anything like that. But most people would come back, oh, I don't know, I get 5, maybe 10 hits a week. Okay. And I'm going 5 or 10 hits a week. You get to see the last 5. If you got 5 hits a week, how often would you have to go out to your who's viewed your profile to see the last 5 people? Do the math, folks. Once a
I
week.
think I have 170 in the last 90 days now.
170 in the last 90 days. Do the division.
Yeah.
That's 170 divided by 90. Let me bring the calculator up. Oh, nuts.
Hang on. Get my
Can
phone
you
out.
see that? Did I get it right? I can't see. Hold on.
Yeah, it's under 2. Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you go there every day,
That's
if you
2 a
go there
day.
every day, you don't need it, is what
So
he's
if you
saying.
went to look at it every single day, exactly. That's all I'm saying. Okay. You know,
If you
get-
want to do that,
until you
yeah.
get the numbers- until you get the numbers that are quite a bit higher, it's not that big of a deal. But I like it. Okay. You know, that's one of the nicest features I can see about it. Okay. But again, now, here's one that I do want to talk about just briefly though. Since we've been talking a lot about premium and what you get for premium, and what you don't. Okay. If you believe the propaganda that says if you pay for LinkedIn, you will show up higher in a search result, don't. That's not true. That's utter BS. Bullpucky. Okay. It doesn't. Paying for LinkedIn will not get you any higher in the search results. What will get you higher in the search result is putting the right keywords on your profile so that when you get searched, it comes up in a search. And the right number of them, meaning more of them of the same, of the right profile, right keywords, etc. Okay. I think I've answered all those questions this is great, folks, because this is where we go. We always learn by just going to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. It all leads to something else, and it's all good knowledge. It is. It's all good
We
knowledge.
still have a couple of hands that Arman and Jim both have their hands up.
Yes,
Jim
go
has
for it.
been sitting there for very patiently. Jim, do you still have a question, or do you want to go ahead?
I have a real quick one on search results. Another thing that'll move your search results up is a large number of endorsements by people who actually have expertise in the area that they're endorsing. So they definitely weight the rankings based on that. So that's one reason it's a good idea to get a lot of endorsements from people who know their stuff in that area. So go see if you can find some experts in the field who will endorse you. For example, for Ian, he would be data analysis and data mining, that sort of thing, be the right people to reach out to.
Have a connection that gets you endorsed. Okay.
I have another
Now,
one, but let's let
best ways-
Armand go first.
Wait,
okay.
I want to answer one more thing about that there too, because getting endorsed is important. So one of the ways that you get endorsed is you endorse your connections.
Yep.
Okay. So that when you endorse them, they'll come back and endorse you. Okay. Or by the way, you can send them a DM and say, would you mind endorsing me for, and give them, the skill as possible. And one more thing I want to say about anything as far as searching is concerned. Here are the most important areas as far as your search is concerned. First area is your headline. Yeah, your professional headline. This piece is right up here at the top of your profile. Put what you want to be searched for and found here. It's right here underneath your name. It's called a professional headline. That's number one. Okay. Second piece that is extremely important for you to get found, okay, is your experience, is your about, okay? Because that's one of the things that when people go out and search on LinkedIn, that's one of the 4 key areas that actually get searched. So put keywords in your about section as well, so that people will understand what they need to see about you there. The other place to put keywords is in the text on your experience section. Any experience piece is a good place because that is a part of the search criteria as well. So when somebody's searching for a project manager, it's going to be searching inside of the headline. It's going to be searching inside of the about section. It's going to be searching inside of the experience section. And the last one is the last one that Jim mentioned before, project management as a skill. It's going to be searching your skills section as well. So those are the 4 key areas that if you do something and put the most effort into, put it into those areas. Okay, now I'm done. Armand, please.
Oh, sure. Well, the first question that kind of came to my mind is, Jeff, and thank you so much it's a really interesting, great presentation, is I actually had LinkedIn Premium for some time. And I remember when I was, when you selected your payment plan, there was actually 2 options that came up. One was, I think it was LinkedIn for business owners or business people. And then the other one was specifically for job seekers. And I think that they were both kind of offered the same options. And I remember reading through, I think I selected the one on the left because I was like, it seems close enough. And I don't quite understand what are the minuscule differences between the 2. But I was kind of wondering, because on the topic of sort of scams and, be very attentive at what you're reading, since there's different options, is there really a key difference between, say, LinkedIn Premium job seeker versus there's like the other one, LinkedIn Premium, let's say entrepreneur or something?
Business, yeah. There actually is quite a few differences. Again, the number of differences in the emails is one of the differences. There is, for example, even if you buy the job seeker package, the career package, that does not eliminate the commercial search limit. The business package does. Okay, so you get unlimited searches with the business package. Yeah, but you're paying twice as much. Okay, right. Because the job seeker package is $30 a month, or $40 a month. The business package is 60 or $70 a month. So yeah, it makes sense that there has to be some different capabilities there.
That's true.
So again, just explore them to see whether or not which one would work for you. But again, Again, we'll go back to the fact that I would like you to explore what you need to do for free first before you actually enter LinkedIn. Right. Because again, I think you can do what you need to do if you are diligent enough and you know how. It is the key about knowing how. Okay.
So you mentioned keywords just now. I just wanted to touch upon that real quick. So one of the things I was wrestling doing or not is, like, for example, in my spare time, I'm not only learning languages, but I'm sort of like teaching languages too, through a platform. And I was thinking, like, if I were to put on my LinkedIn that I'm doing something like freelance, but it's more like the keyword because I like languages, so it's more or less what I like, would that kind of come across as a little bit like unorthodox? So therefore I was like wrestling, and I ultimately thought it might not be a good idea, but I wanted to ask, because you mentioned keywords matter on like the experience and everything.
Yep. Well, and my answer to that question is, it depends on, again, how you want to be found. Okay. Right. Because the keywords are what will get you found. So my question is, is it important enough for you to be found for that second thing? Okay. And it's not a matter of confusing things. It's just a matter of being found for it or not. Okay. So I make a decision every single time I go out there and I put keywords or I put something on my profile. Whenever I am doing an edit to my profile, I ask myself this question: is what I'm doing going to get me found for what I want to be found for? And if the answer is yes, I put it on. If the answer is no, I leave it off. Because if you put stuff on there, LinkedIn will look through that and it will find you for that. And that's why a lot of people get a lot of offers or a lot of job suggestions for jobs that they don't want, because they don't want to be what they were before. And they've concentrated on what they were before as opposed to what they want to be now.
Now, okay, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah. Right. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jeff, we have like 4 people already. So we have John, we have Stephanie, we have Trisha, and then Charles. So John,
Jeff,
you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go for real quick. As long as we're doing some random questioning, some time ago, I ran into a situation where I was opening profiles to read them, and then I ran up against a ceiling, a limit. Do you know if they still do that on a monthly basis?
Well, I don't think it's on a monthly basis. I think it's on a weekly basis. There may
Weekly,
be a limit.
wow.
Okay, and here's the thing though. Be careful about this, because here's why LinkedIn is doing that. Because LinkedIn has had a problem with a whole bunch of people going out there with automated software and using bots to open lots and lots and lots. So it has to do with how many you do in a certain period of time.
Okay.
Okay. So the point being is that, if you're a bot and you go out there and you open 50 profiles, LinkedIn might shut your account down, or at least limit you to say, no, you've reached the limit and I'm not going to let you look at it. So they're actually doing that for a good reason. Okay. But again, LinkedIn's reasons get misunderstood, and LinkedIn has this thing called an artificial intelligence, okay, out there. And that artificial intelligence is, well, that's a perfect description. I mean, if I ever saw an oxymoron, artificial intelligence is it. Because of the fact that it's programmed by a human being and it's trying to learn, and it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't really know what your real reason for doing something was. So yes, it is possible that you could hit a limit, but that's okay. That limit will only be temporary, and it should allow you to come back and do what you need to do. Okay, but it's amount of time, that thing. Okay, Stephanie, your turn.
So related to the question that we had before of how to reach somebody, it used to be that you could look at people and they would say which groups that you were in that they were also in on their profile. And then you could go to the group and then you could find them in the group and then you could write them a message.
Mhm.
Now they've changed it so that you don't any longer see, unless I'm missing it, you don't any longer see what groups you have in common. So is there a way to find that out anymore?
Yes. Here's how you do that. Go to anybody's profile, okay? Scroll down, and it's way down here. Again, LinkedIn loves to hide stuff. Scroll way down to the interests section.
Yeah.
Click the see all button. This is way behind everything else. And then up at the top, there's this thing called groups. And here are the groups that are not common groups. Okay, it's not that, but these are the groups that we can, some of them might be common. So by the way, this is my group, LI Tips for all levels of experience, so that Caroline joined. But here are other groups. And if you see a group that might be of interest to you, you could join it, and then you could send that person a DM, because as Stephanie very rightfully pointed out, being in a group together with somebody gives you license to set. That's another reason why you don't have to pay for LinkedIn. You could go join a group that they're in and send them a DM all day long.
That's amazing. I haven't found that. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. And I knew where this was, but this is interesting. I was involved with more groups a long time ago, and they're no longer here. So I haven't looked at this in a while.
And the limit went up. It's no longer 50. You can now be in 100 groups.
Yes,
Really?
you can be in 100 groups if you want. But by the way, here's the reason why I don't see all of your groups, Caroline. You may be in other groups that I don't see, because there are actually two different kinds of groups. There's a standard group, which is available and seeable by everybody. And then there is actually something called an unlisted group, which is only available by invitation. Okay. So if you're in an unlisted group, I will not see it on your profile. So you probably have more groups than this. But my group is a standard group, or open group, so that you could,
So how would I remember which unlisted groups I'm in?
How do you remember? Okay, you would remember by going to your profile, going down, going to my network.
Yeah.
Going down the left-hand side and clicking on this thing that says groups.
Okay.
This is all my groups, all 13 of them.
Okay,
All right.
I'll have to do that to see.
Trisha's iPhone has a question.
Yeah, I do apologize. I had to join late. So if you already went over this, just let me know. Someone had told me, because I've been out of a job for 1.5 years, that you should include experience, like, in the first one. So people don't think you've been sitting around watching TV all day, that you should have something in there, like, whether you've been taking learning or, webinars and that kind of stuff. Is that true?
Yes, that actually is a best practice. Okay. So for example, if you look at mine, I've been retired for several years, but I have a current job. Actually, I have a couple of current jobs, okay? So having it, here's one of the things that you need to make sure that when you look at your profile, right there on your dashboard, that it says All-Star. Because if you don't have a current job, LinkedIn will not make you an All-Star. And one of the very first criteria for you being found is that you are an All-Star. All that really means is that you completed the right things that LinkedIn wants you to complete to have a complete profile. That has nothing to do with how optimized your profile might need to be, which is what I was talking about earlier about, telling people what you want to be as opposed to what you were. Okay. But one of the places that you put, and one of the things you should put is in the interim, even though you've been out for a while, you should put something here as a current job that says what it is that you are looking for and what are you looking to be when you grow up. Okay. And having that current job will help you get found because, again, that will give you a place to put the right keywords for what it is that you're actually searching for. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
You
And then
can
just
look at mine as
kind
an
of-
example if you want.
Stephanie says she has one. That
Oh,
she can
okay,
look at as
super.
an example. Oh, you want me to look at it? I would highly-
Sure. I don't know that it's that great, but I put it in when they recently added freelance as an option.
Right, yeah.
So,
So what she's done is on her first experience. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah.
Yep. See, freelance. She's working for a company called Freelance, and she's put all these keywords in here about what it is that she's looking for and wants to do. Perfect. Okay. So,
Okay,
and the more of it you can do, the better.
Okay, and then just kind of a follow-up, because I have been attending different American Marketing Association webinars and conferences and different things like that. I mean, even like attending the CSIX. Is there a way that you should kind of lump them like under education or something, just to show that you are looking to continue learning?
Yeah, well, you could put some of that perhaps under learning. What I might do is that I might list those kinds of things in a section, either in experience section, if you want to, you could do that. Okay, or I would put them perhaps in a section that's called volunteer, because there's a section called volunteer work. And so, for example, when you add a section here, that's the button that you might want to go for. Okay, there's underneath background. There's something called volunteer experience where you can add that volunteer experience as well, which is another thing, a good way of listing what it is that you've done in the past. But remember this, okay, what I said before, and you might not have been on. Okay, the 4 key areas are your professional headline, okay, your about section, your experience section, and your skills. Okay, and so putting something in volunteer experience will just be for the looking, not for the actual searching. That's why I wanted to mention that, because but it's good to have it there, but I would lean toward experience as opposed to volunteer experience, because of the fact that volunteer experience is not one of the ones that is a part of the search criteria that is going to go after. Okay, and
But is there a certain way to phrase it? Because if you're attending all these different 1-hour webinars and different things like that, you're not going to list every single one.
No. Well, again, you can do it, and you can do it with multiples. You could do it with a group that shows them all. Okay, just tell the story. Okay, tell people what you're attending and tell them why. Okay, that's really the best approach. Because
that makes sense.
And one of the questions that people sometimes ask me, it hasn't been asked in either of the 2 that we've done here, but people ask me, should my profile be written in first person or third person? And the point being is that your resume is in third person. You've never used the word I. But you better use the word I here, because this is your story. This is your social media platform. So it's about having a conversation with whoever it is that comes to your profile. So I use the word I all over the place in mine. Okay, Charles?
Thank you.
We're getting to the point where we've got
I have 3 questions. I'll go real quick. One is, okay, let's go back to keywords. Looking at your profile that you have up right now, let's assume that namaste is a key. Are you defining namaste as a keyword? How do you define keywords, and how are those keywords then linked to all the other sections that you said that need to have keywords?
Okay, any word is a keyword or could be a keyword. Obviously, job titles and those kind of things are better because of the fact that they are actually things that people would actually search for from a recruiting standpoint. There's probably nobody who's going to go out there and going to search for the word namaste. That is, unless of course they're looking for me, okay, and they, they knew that I said that. But from a keyword standpoint, it's about titles. It's about other kinds of things that are skills that you might list in any of the possible areas. Okay. So let me show you something here. This is one that I've used a great deal, and this is one that people really love. This only can work on the browser. This can only work on the desktop. Okay. I want to show you a way where you can see how many times a particular keyword is used on your profile. All right. So as you can see, as you go down through here, and we've come back through here, my about section is skinnied down. It's only showing the first 3 lines. It doesn't show all of the text as far as the each of the positions you're in, et cetera. Okay. Here's a way that you can get at that information and then do a search to see how many times the keyword has actually been used. Watch, and at no time do my fingers leave my hands. This is not magic. Okay. It's just browser. Okay. Go up to the upper right-hand corner and click Edit Public Profile and URL. Once you have done that, you are now looking at a larger, expanded version of your profile that has a lot more text that it can actually look at. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to use this special feature inside of a browser, and this works in any browser, but in Chrome or on a PC, actually on a PC, what you press is Control and then click the F key. Note that little box that just showed up at the upper right-hand corner, okay? If you happen to be on a Mac, that would be Command F. Inside a browser, that means find on the page. Command F or Control F. Everybody with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. All right, now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go look for the words LinkedIn trainer. See what happens as I go through that and I do it? Up at the top, it's saying, oh, look, I found LinkedIn trainer 25 times.
Okay, and you don't have to put it in quotes to make sure it's the whole phrase? Okay.
Not in a browser, you don't. And by the way, that's a good thing from a Boolean standpoint, putting things in quotes. So yeah, outside of here in the LinkedIn search, putting things in quotes is a good thing. In here, it's not necessary.
Ah.
Yeah, but it's not necessary here because see, it's found it. Okay, and here's the first instance of it right here under specialties, LinkedIn trainer. Okay, now, by the way, then what you can do is use these up and down arrows because I can now go search and see where else it is in my profile. Oh, look, here it is in my experience section. The first one in my experience section, the second one in my experience section, the third one in my experience section. Are you getting a trend here? Okay, I'm using those titles every place I can so that it actually starts to show up 4 of 25 times, 25 times. Now, here's the key. This is why these keywords and the number of them is so important. I have a friend who's been a project manager since dirt was invented. That's a long time, folks, in case you didn't realize, okay? And he has the words project manager on his profile 60 different times. Now, here's one of the things that makes the biggest difference to him. For anyone else to show up ahead of him on a search that someone is doing out here on LinkedIn, guess how many times they have to have project manager on their profile to show up ahead of him?
61.
Bingo.
61.
Got it in one. Exactly. Nailed it. That is why the number of times that it shows up is extremely important. Okay. And I got 2 raised hands already. Okay.
So,
Right,
so here's
I'm going to leave this as it is. That's just where I wanted to leave that so that you know that now you can do that. You can search your profile for keywords if you do what I just did, which is edit public profile and URL, and then do Control F and type in the keyword you want.
Jeff, I know we have 2 people who have raised hand, but just doing a time check. How's your time? Let's start with that first.
I am good to go. If folks are still interested in staying and you're okay with it, I'm still good.
Well, I have a hard stop at 12:30 my time. She's like 20 minutes from now, but Joanna might be able to stay longer. But let's just see what we can do. Jim, you have a question, I think, right?
Yeah, Jeff, you had recommended personalizing all LinkedIn invitations, and at least for the past number of years, that's been an issue in some places. Would you please go to who's viewed your profile? And maybe we can do a quick test. You should find me as a person who's viewed. Yeah, okay. don't go into the profile, please. Would you just please hit the connect button? I want to see if this
Oh,
still
no,
behaves
no.
as it always did.
No.
You
you're
can
right. Here's the
withdraw it.
issue.
You can withdraw it. I just want
Thank
to.
you. No, but yeah, this is probably is this the issue you're trying to test? Okay.
Yeah, because I
Because
just want to
here's
see if
why I
they
never
might have
do-
made a change.
I didn't say this. Thank you. Okay. Here's the other thing about doing and making sure that you send someone a particular message. The only place that you should do that is if you have gone to their profile and click the connect button on their profile. Because what this will do, I'll test it, okay? Because I don't want to withdraw it, but I will test it just to make sure that it's still there, because I don't think LinkedIn's fixed it. I've asked them to fix it about 1,000,000 times.
You and me both.
When this one when I click the connect button anywhere else except on a person's profile, what it does is send that stupid generic message that says, I'd like to add you to my LinkedIn network. Connect, gone.
Yes.
There it is.
Still broken.
Still broken. Exactly. Still broken.
And that's
So again,
any gallery.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, you know, they actually there. And again, there's the other sent with withdraw and withdraw. Okay. Because I hit that connect button the other side as well. All right. Last
Thanks
question.
for testing it.
Yep. No, I usually just avoid it and then I don't have to worry about it. Thanks, Jim. It's a good point. Go to their profile first. Click the connect button on their profile. Caroline, yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just blanking on what I was going to ask. No,
Carolyn, you were
Sorry.
going to ask about the new feature that you put in your profile.
oh, well, that's about the page. No, but there was something else that what you were just saying before Jim said that. It was something further on that. Oh yeah,
on the keyboard?
about okay. Yeah, I got it now. I'm sorry. When you're pivoting, when you're moving, again, you were saying about not what you did before, but what you want to do now. How would I get more words about like a project manager in there if I've not done that before? I mean,
Good question.
If you've not done that before, you have to say you are looking to do it about as many times as you can.
oh, so you just say looking to, oh, thank you.
I want to be a project manager when I grow up. There's one sentence, okay? I work with a lot of project managers and I'm learning from them. There's two sentences, okay? Again, using the word in a sentence is all it really takes to put that keyword on your
Okay,
profile.
so I can say that I've just taken courses in da-da-da-da-da. And
Exactly.
put, okay. So you, it's just make sure it's in the about section or experience section or like that.
And in your skills, okay? Because again, if you put project management in as a skill and you want to be a project manager, then what you need to do is make sure that people go out there and they actually
Okay.
endorse you for it.
That's another question. If you have skills where you've put the skills in, but nobody's, because you haven't been, I haven't been paying attention to that section in a very long time. If you have skills in there that nobody's endorsed you for, does that still show up or no?
Yes, it still shows up as a skill, okay? It just shows up as not having any endorsements, which is not a good thing, okay? But literally you can put, again, even from a keyword perspective, what you should do is put the skill that is in LinkedIn's database on your profile, because that's always better, because that's always
Okay,
going
so
to
you
help you
should
get found
have the
more.
skill in there, even if you don't, because I remember for a time when they first came out with those kind of endorsements 10 or 12 years ago, everybody was doing it and everybody got so sick of it. And then
Yeah.
it was ignored for a long time.
Yeah,
So,
but again, it's still important from the standpoint of it is one of the areas that gets searched to make
Okay.
a match. That's why it's
Okay.
important. But literally, again, matching project management is easy because that one's in the database. But it literally, if you, I mean, for example, folks, look, it's a branding tool for me now. I've had a list of skills on mine for a long time. We got to go a long way down, but I'm going to show you something here, okay, that I think is important as well. My first 3 skills that I have highlighted, okay, can you read those, folks?
oh, faster than a speeding bullet.
And more powerful than a locomotive, and able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Now, you think somebody's actually going to be searching for those? No, I sincerely doubt it. But the point of it is, basically, I've got skills in there that match my brand now. If I show you more, there will be more traditional skills, curriculum development, leadership, team building, communication, et cetera. Those I've had there for a long time, and I've got lots of endorsements for those. And I've even, I mean, the point is, here's why I wanted to illustrate this. I put those on there. Would anybody normally go to my profile and endorse me for faster than a speeding bullet? Probably not. You know how I got those endorsements? I asked for them. I went to my network and said, you know what, I'm trying a little experiment and I'd like to make this a little cute and I'd like to at least get some endorsements for it. Would you mind going endorsing me for it? And oh, by the way, one of the reasons that I put them here as the pinned skills, these 3 at the top are what I call pinned skills. If you actually go in there and edit your skills, you can actually pin up to 3 skills at the very top, and that will help get you endorsed for them. as
Okay,
well.
and that's in the edit section, how you pin them. Because I
Underneath
know
here,
I've been in
yeah.
there before. But it's
Underneath
been a
here,
while.
it's these guys that I have pinned. See them? They're listed.
Okay,
And if
but it's only 3.
It's
right.
only 3. If I want to put one of these up there, I got to turn one of these off and turn the other one on. Okay, so you get 3 and that's it. But that's how you do it. You use that little pin icon.
But when someone searches, they search, the search goes to all of them, right?
Yes, search goes to all of them. When they go and actually somebody actually looked at your skills and endorsements section, those first 3 show up. As you saw before, LinkedIn loves to hide stuff. It shows me 3 skills and the rest of it is see more.
Right. Oh, and taking the skills, the skill quiz, is it worth it to do those?
They're very technical. So if you're in a very technical industry or something along those lines, yes, it probably would be. But the kind of things that are out there for skills quizzes are very C++ and, you know.
Oh, so it's not the human skills.
No, it's not project management. It's not those kinds of skills. But they're there. So and what happens then is that actually will prove that you actually passed the test on it, and you can actually put a badge on it. It will put a badge on your skill that says, yes, this person actually, you know, not certification, not like that. Okay, but at least they passed a skills quiz on. Okay, Charles, did we ever get to your questions?
Hold on a second. Before we go to Charles' question, can we put up the evaluation, because some people probably are leaving? I want to make sure we get, this time our evaluation works. Joanna, would you be